the Listerine.
Y'all ever grabbed a mic and was like, damn.
You ever, and it smelled like,
Oh,
your whole
several times.
Oh, my.
I have snatched the cover right on off because what you're not going to do is have me gagging through this song.
Let me tell you something. You talking about, look.
Because we sung a song with a lot
about my God.
We sung a song with a lot of H words and all of that is on this cover.
All of Hallelujah is on you.
Hallelujah and halitosis. They're both there.
Hallelujah and halitosis.
They're both there. They're both there. The two of them equally distributed.
Jesus, it's there. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Dream Lab Podcast. My name is Dre Perry, and I'm here with some of the greatest co-pilots ever to exist in the world. I have Chrissy. I have Kev. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest.
I'm here.
For the first time ever, we have a guest to meet us.
I'm here, guys.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashleigh Pope.
I'm so excited.
Our first guest.
I'm the first guest?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
First guest.
I love that for me, and I really love that for y'all.
Absolutely. It's great. It's a great thing. I think today's episode is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. First of all, we're going to just give Ashleigh a moment to just kind of introduce herself to you all, because some of y'all might be like, who is she? Why is she on here? Why is she so special that she the first guest? Let me find out. Yeah. Now that's our handle dance, and when you do that, we put your handle right there. So now they'll be able to follow you on IG, all that good stuff. Ashleigh, tell us, who are you?
Well, I am Ashleigh. Am I looking here?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I am Ashleigh Pope, and well, first of all, thank you all for having me on the Dream Lab podcast.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Thank you.
I am excited. I'm glad to be here. Yes, it's gonna be a good time. My name is Ashleigh, and I am a Detroit native, like the rest of these people here. And
I'm actually from Iceland.
Please.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't deal with ice niggas. Sorry, Ash. Go ahead.
All right. I too have a podcast. It is called the Good Mourning Podcast.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yes.
Good morning. Now it's not morning like.
No, it's not good morning like hello, good morning. It's not like that.
Okay, what is it like?
It's morning like MOURNING. Morning. Yes.
Okay.
Good
so it's a
morning.
purpose behind that.
It is a purpose behind
finding the good.
Find the good in life's transitions. That is the tagline of the podcast.
That's good.
I started Good Mourning in January of 2021. The whole podcast situation was just kind of birthed out of some grief that I was experiencing. Okay. And I was kind of like bargaining with God, like, hey, if you heal me, I'll take what you've done with me and I'll help other people.
I love that.
And so that's how I started Good Mourning. So Good Mourning is really a transparent podcast about my life, the things that I deal with, how I have in the situations that or the cards that I've been dealt, tried to find the good in that transition, because everything that we experience is a transition. And grief, it's not just somebody dying.
Right.
It could be the loss of a job, a failed marriage, engagement, relationship. It can be losing friends. It can be moving to a different state. Grief comes with a lot of different things. Yeah. And so the mourning part is what we're talking about, but we're also talking about finding the good in that transition. So that's what we do at the Good Mourning Podcast.
Ooh, that's good, because we've been making do it for a night.
Huh?
But what?
But
What?
Joy.
It's coming. Hey.
Ooh, all right.
That's y'all shout. This is my new shout.
Okay.
That's the 2024 shout.
All
You
right.
go to them CCM churches.
Period.
Got to.
Screaming.
I'm kidding. That is phenomenal. So I didn't know the true like background. I knew it was obviously some deeper meaning just based off the spelling, and I think that's so dope alone. Like that'll make me tune in. Like to see that, I'm like, let me check this out, because I done been in a moment of mourning.
Of course.
I didn't
we
have
all
my
have.
moment. I'm in that moment right now. And it's just like I thank you for allowing people to have that moment to see perspective. Like it's all about perspective.
It
is. Hey, there is still good.
It's still good.
All things work together. So
it really does.
There's still good in it.
We love the word.
Absolutely.
Love the
Absolutely. Y'all know this is not a church podcast, but y'all know I got a word.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm going to let you know when I'm going to let you know. Okay.
I will hide your word in my heart.
What key?
Heart.
I love that song.
Okay.
I was going to do a remix.
I said what key? He said.
I love that song.
What key? I love that song.
I love that song.
Yeah.
That's the lady that was singing with Kim Burrell. That cool.
Be quiet. I'm trying to. The
That-
Lord
she
is
said,
using
ma'am.
us.
She said, ma'am.
Solo.
You with that mask.
Let that mask work.
The
for you.
mask
mask
ain't
work for
working.
Trey, it's the ma'am.
And you need to let
She
it work.
meant that, ma'am. Please.
God is using me. This is
No,
a
he's
solo.
not. Your hair is lifted.
What was the song that she was singing though?
Kevin.
How are
It
your
was a
wigs never
hymnal.
flat and you're so mean?
Her hair was lifted.
Her wigs are always like in the front, like lifted up a little bit. I love Kim though, flat out.
Mighty God.
I love Kim, but come
Hell.
on.
Mighty God.
Hell.
Anyway, so we're moving on.
Mhm.
So that is
Don't
absolutely
cancel
amazing.
me, y'all, because
no,
of that, but I don't care.
No, they might
It's
cancel you a
alright,
little
you
bit.
I don't care because y'all got to stop being mean and stop doing it in the name of the Lord. That's ignorant. Who's next? Go ahead.
Who's next?
Go,
So before
go.
we get into today's topic, Kev, Chris, C. I'm trying this. I've never called you that.
You didn't have
This
it.
new.
Chrissy.
So
Chrissy.
does it work? Are you okay with it? I know that's
Yeah.
your IG thing, but like I've never
Yeah.
called you that.
Because, okay, the problem is a lot of times Christian, that's my name, but a lot of people associate that with a guy because a lot of times when you hear the name Christian, it's a guy, even though it's a gender neutral name or whatnot. So anytime I be like, oh, my name is Christian, people be like, oh, Kristen, Christina,
Ah, gotcha,
Christiana. I got Christian Nova one time. I said, whoa,
Oh.
What is
You
that?
got what?
Christian Nova.
It's okay. Everybody.
Low key, that's kind of fire.
It
Christian
is,
Nova?
but I was
Turn
just
your
like,
hearing aid
I
up.
I was on the phone at work. I said, thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. This is Christian. How can I help you? Christian Nova.
Wow.
Can you? I said, huh?
They were white.
Wow.
Definitely
let
was.
me tell you, because I said my name is Draylon. I've heard Terrell.
Oh,
Jerome.
Terrell.
Well, I know
I
what
said,
you
no, you just wanted to call me a black person's
That
name.
is
Exactly.
You did
so
not hear
They
Jerome.
said this
So
one's
far
easier.
apart.
Don't
No
understand.
association.
It was like,
No.
To Draylon.
But that's why, yeah, I just tell people Chrissy because they
Okay.
typically go.
no,
there.
so I think sometimes when I say your name fast, I stumble.
Yeah,
Christian.
I stumble too.
It's just, I think it's just the way the letters are.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm trying this Chrissy thing out, but
We'll
I like
work on
Chrissy.
it.
The
It's a
verdict is still out
personality.
on it
Huh?
for you. The verdict is still out
it's
on
still,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're still in the room
You don't even
deliberating.
call me
so.
Christian. Like,
in the room.
What?
That's-
Yeah,
Thank you,
dude,
God.
no.
No.
But when I'm referring to, I'm just talking about in general.
Oh,
just
that's
like,
true.
Not necessarily talking to you because I
Yeah.
feel like we don't call each other like you don't say Draylon like we're
No.
already in a conversation.
Yeah.
But if I'm referring to you, I don't say.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't say. Yeah.
You be like,
Listen,
but that
know
big
what?
head, light skinned girl right over there
Mine.
in the
Why
chair.
did you say
Goodness.
that? I don't know. Do I call you Draylon or Dre?
Dre
Both.
for sure.
I feel like I
When
use
he
Draylon
do
a
something
lot.
crazy, it's Draylon for sure.
For sure, Draylon.
Kev definitely you definitely use both. I feel like. I feel like it's both. I've
It's
heard you.
both.
Yeah, it's
It's
both.
both.
Elise strictly Draylon.
Period.
She's never called me Dre.
She said, I ain't got the time or the patience.
And I.
Girl, what? Because I call Ash.
You do. You don't call me Ashley.
It's not often. Well, y'all don't know. We are actually like really good friends.
We are
outside
good
of
friends.
Period.
So
But I don't remember calling you Ashley by your foot. But praise
I
God.
don't think you do.
But Ashley is spelled differently though.
It is.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
So how we
So
spell
that's
your first
probably
name?
one of them.
My first name is spelled Ashleigh.
What's the story behind it, or is this? Or that's
Well-
another spelling of Ashley.
Well, it isn't because, like Christian, Ashley is a gender neutral name.
That is very true.
So boys, you often find are spelled Ley,
Wow.
right?
Got you.
And so my mom was just like, I don't want people to think that my daughter is a boy, right? So she didn't go Leelei. She went straight Leigh. And so imagine being in preschool trying to spell your name. That's all I'm saying. And then also,
Girl,
I told y'all I'm a visual person, so now I see little kids
Yes.
like Ash.
no, and like I went through the
Lagia?
whole yes.
Lagia?
I went through the whole situation like in school. Every time I got a new teacher, it was like Ashleigh, and I'm just like Ashley, like
Right.
Ashley.
yes,
Ashleigh.
Ashley.
They wanna- they
I
always
had a
wanna
teacher
Ashley.
be like Alicia. Like I have gotten all kinds of just kind of be like, okay.
That's because
But
they.
yeah.
I think sometimes, and when I say they, I just talk about those white people who don't care because there are some that do. But the ones that just don't care, they'll look at the first letter and then the last three letters and be like, that's close enough. And
They'll
I'll
make
just-
it up.
They'll make
Everything
it
in
up.
between.
They'll make it
Allegiant.
up.
Alicia.
Listen, I'd be.
Allegia. Are you here, Miss Allegia Pope?
That is
What?
crazy.
Hey,
What are you
Ron.
looking at?
Allegia Pope.
Aaron.
But I like it though. It's different.
Aaron.
I like the spelling. Like the spelling looks pretty. Like
I
when you
love
look
it.
at
When I saw it, I was like, this is
I
dope.
love my spelling. Absolutely, 100%. Everybody, it's always a conversation starter.
Now,
always.
now you love it. Have you always loved it?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
good.
Yeah, I've
Even
always
in preschool.
writing it, like I said, it was a task. It was just like remembering all those letters in my name.
Do you have a middle name?
I do. My middle name is Amanda.
They about to steal her identity.
They're not gonna
Can you
steal
stop?
it. They ain't
Your
gonna steal
mama
it.
gave you the most prettiest white girl name, so I know you got a
Ashleigh
good job.
Amanda.
Praise God.
Ashleigh
Yes.
Amanda. People think that because my mother's name is Miranda, that Amanda was like that's like your mom, and that's not the story behind my middle name.
Come on.
What's the story?
What's the story?
So there is I don't know if you guys ever heard of, it's real Baptist. Y'all ever heard of Charles Nix before? Like,
you know I
Reverend
know.
Charles. Okay, so his mother actually kind of like adopted my dad. It's okay, Chrissy. It's okay.
Christian said,
Apostolic.
nigga,
My-
no.
Yeah. Power Lord. Power Lord.
My dad's from Virginia, so when he moved here, like he gained family, and so Reverend Nix, his mother, kind of took my dad in, and her name was Alice Amanda Nix, and so they gave me Amanda for my middle name. Is kind of like in
So she was like a grandmother figure.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so beautiful.
that was Grandma Nix.
Shout out to moms for the name, okay?
Yes,
Her.
Because my mama was like, he looked like a Draylon.
but you do look like a Jalen.
You do.
I wouldn't
couldn't
give you
imagine
any
you
other
being
name.
like
I wouldn't. I
honestly
can't imagine your name
to be
being anything else.
Me
Yeah.
either.
No.
Me either.
A Jonathan, maybe.
That's my middle name.
Nicholas.
Shut up.
Dang.
Jonathan?
Come on.
Draylon Jonathan.
Nicholas is too.
Nicholas. Nick.
Uh-uh.
No, couldn't do a Nick.
No. Jonathan, though, for sure.
Ryan?
Ryan?
Are you giving him white names?
No.
Do I look like a
Nicholas?
Ryan to you? What? Please put in the comments what you think my name would be if it wasn't Jordan. Like, what do I look like? Like, look at me. Real quick. Look at me.
David.
Look
I can see Asher.
Javier.
Asher. Javier. No, you're a Mexican.
His
Well,
dog is Mexican,
I'm
so
trying to tell y'all that
That's a lot
dog.
of
Is,
stories.
that dog has a full mustache and beard.
at 1 year old,
Scary to the mud.
confused.
I can't.
Yeah, he was imported. So, please put in the comments what you think my name would be if it wasn't Draylon.
Love that.
So,
for Drake.
Ashley, now that we have you here,
Yes.
I want you to, if you could, maybe just like what would somebody expect? Just a random episode of the Good Mourning Podcast. Like, what would they expect? Like, what are they gonna see? What are they gonna hear? Is it visual? Is it audio? Where can they find it?
Yes. So, my last season of the podcast actually went both. It was before last season. I was just audio only,
Okay.
and now I am audio and visual. And so love that for me.
Has that helped your numbers?
It has.
Okay.
But if I'm honest with you, my numbers have kind of just been good too.
That's
And I think that was just, and I solely, wholeheartedly believe that just because I was obedient to God.
Mm-hmm.
No other reason. Not because it's just fire
That's just the way it
podcast,
works.
but because I feel like it was just out of my obedience doing what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I love the visual aspect because people are now able to put a face with a name.
Absolutely.
And then I actually had my last season, I think I had a guest on every episode except for one. And so it also gave my guests, some content as well. So I love that. So yeah, like,
Awesome.
great. I love that for me. And yeah, the podcast, my favorite guest is always my mom, 100%.
Gotcha.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember
Episodes.
that episode. Like, it was an episode with your mom, and I didn't watch the whole thing or listen to the whole thing, but I felt like it was like, this is really
Yeah.
good.
On the
Like,
visual, the last one that we did, the visual episode, it was Church Hurt.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
we
think
did
because
that.
it was just a season that I was going through, and I was like, they spit
That's
like.
it.
Yeah, we was talking about it.
And
It
and
was
I
a good
think
time.
I approached it, and I'm gonna be honest, because a lot of times I'll hear people who are in church and they'll say, "Oh, people always crying church hurt," which that is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell anybody like, no, you definitely can be hurt by the church.
Absolutely.
The people you say, oh, well, the church didn't hurt you. Well, the church are the people.
It's the people. Yeah, 100%.
People, you can be hurt by anybody. So to say that, but at the same time, I get it from the person who was looking for refuge, who was looking for community, who was looking for somewhere to be connected to and to grow, and then find out that, oh, this ain't what I thought it was, or they ain't who I thought they were, and all of this other stuff. So I think I kind of went into it like, what they gonna take the church side of things, but it was just a very healthy conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important because we were talking about, I don't know if we talked about this in the actual episode. We did, the first one, how people will leave the church and they'll get bitter and they'll either turn completely, or they will figure out, okay, what happened, because at the end of the day, this grace thing, as much as we preach it and talk about it and sing about it, I don't think we truly have grasped the concept of grace. I really don't think we have, because it's almost like we expect everybody to be like us. Everybody be on the same page as us. And so even the people who do us wrong, even like I was talking about in that bonus episode about my ex, like me and my wife were talking about it a few days ago, and the amount of, wow, this is probably why she acted out like this. This is probably why. It took years for me to get to that place, but I get it now. I'm like, damn, like,
because you saw it from a healed perspective.
Yeah, I saw it, and I was just like, she needs somebody to love on her. She needs some X, Y, and Z. I can't do it. It ain't got nothing to do with me, but I see it now. And she, it's almost like I realize we just big kids, and children just operate out of fear. Children, when things happen, they don't know. When you ask a kid, why did you do that?
Absolutely.
They react.
And then they like, I don't know.
I just did it.
Kat, what would you better?
So
I thought you were just hallelujah.
No. So with you seeing it from a different perspective, did that, and I don't know, because we've never talked about this as friends, with you seeing it from a different perspective, did it make the forgiveness part easier, maybe, possibly?
I had already forgiven her a long time ago. It was more so now, like,
understanding,
just more understanding. Like, I never had an understanding. I never had closure. So it was just like I had to just move on with my life. Yeah. And it was just like, bro, like, what happened? Like, why did this happen? And it was just so much that I didn't see. And so I would tell anybody that's listening, that will listen, if you don't understand, you will eventually.
Yeah.
You will eventually. Like,
the song is right. You'll understand it better.
By and by. Like, if you got it right now, you would mishandle that whole thing. Like, this was it's supposed to do something for you. It just don't feel good. That's just a part of the process. And if we can accept that, anytime those life things come to us, we'll approach it. We'll have a different perspective. Yeah. When we go through mourning, when we go through grief, when we go through, we lost, or whatever the case is, or we got fired, we can look at it in a different perspective. Yeah, it's about to be rough these next few weeks or these next few months, or whatever the case is. But it's going to eventually turn around, and you have to think like that. You have to choose to be better. You have to choose to be happy. You have to choose to bounce back. If not,
it's a daily decision.
It's the bitterness that's going to show up every day.
Absolutely.
But that's the importance of, like, learning from your experiences and not growing, like, bitter and angry and be like, oh, woe was me and stuff, or angry at the other person or whatnot. Like, okay, I can say that I played a part in it too. Now, not making it right what you did.
Absolutely.
Or whatnot.
You were dead wrong.
Terrible. Let me look at the camera and tell you, you were dead wrong.
Dead wrong.
But what I will say is, I was not perfect.
No.
Girl, you just took me out with that.
I'm just saying.
And
I just want to make it clear.
And I'm still not.
And I want to make it clear. But, like, it's important in learning from your experiences, but also in you choosing your next or whatnot, choosing the right person. Because the fact that you were able to have that conversation with your significant other and then not be any offense, or, like, we're able to have a healthy conversation. That's amazing right there. Honestly.
We
I love that. Shout out to the wife.
Period. Period, baby mama.
I've learned how to communicate and open up so much more. It just takes time. You also have to be patient. Listen, we got to be patient too. Like, because both of y'all are coming together at two different, like, places, like, in life, and so y'all need to figure out, okay, where we are in life, are we gonna be able to make this work? Because I really like you really like me.
I love that.
But you got a lot going on, I got a lot going on. I got a lot of healing I need to do, so do you. Or maybe you on a healing journey and I'm not. She was, when we started dating, she was in therapy. She wasn't even focused on the relationship, and then here come me, hey, I need your attention. And
hey girl, what you doing?
And we bumped heads a lot, but she was very patient. She was very understanding. And then, it was other areas that I became more patient and understanding. And so those conversations, obviously we weren't able to have openness like that at the beginning, but now it's like, sometimes people will stay mad at an ex. And it's just like, for what?
It's miserable.
I opened my eyes where I'm sitting, what I have, and not just the material things, that peace, that joy. When you can wake up and your spouse is there, right there, and you're not wondering,
right?
nigga, I don't care about none of that stuff. Hey, what you did, it taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And I am so thankful for where I am. Kevin said this in the other episode. He said he loves this transformation, this new him. And I am so thankful for that. So don't curse it.
Yep. And you played a part in it.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. You played a part in it.
You played a part in it. So do y'all look at yourselves like, because, you know, just in dating in general, like, are you like, are you looking in the mirror for real, or are we just immediately like, oh, well, you don't have, and well, you did this, and you don't show up enough for me, and da 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 da. Do we ever consider? Do we give grace? Do we? And I'm not saying give grace then just be a fool,
right?
But are we really like making sure that we straight before we move on? Are we really, you know, are we making sure that we good before we start dating? Because a lot of people, they're looking to find love instead of having love within already.
Right.
And so they go to look to get some love. And then when that love hurt them, then it's just like, what, my nigga, you were supposed to have this before you got here.
Before you came over here.
And because they didn't have it and they mistreated you, and now it's just, you know, you going through the stuff.
Repeating the same cycle.
So it, like, what's your thoughts? Anybody? Ashley, you can actually start. You're a guest here, so.
So if you know anything about me, I am an advocate for therapy, 100%. I feel like it's good maintenance, right? Even if you don't have anything crazy going on or anything of that nature, it's just good to have, because I believe that everybody needs an outlet or somebody to help you advocate for your feelings. Somebody that's going to help you, you know, correct your way of thinking, what you do, your patterns, your behaviors, help you analyze like some of the things that have happened in your life. And I feel like, this is just me, before you get into any type of relationship or anything like that, you need to just kind of do that maintenance, especially if you just kind of came out of something, right? Because we, you know, tend to have one of those mindsets of, you know, the best way to get over this person is to find somebody else, you know, and so that's so toxic, you know.
Because it's just like sweeping under the rug. It's like putting the dirt under the rug. It's still there, my nigga.
It's still there. It's still there, you know. And so I feel like when we do those kind of things, like, you know, going to therapy, things like that, that it helps us to be able to see ourselves in those relationships. And so you can look at yourself and say, okay, this wasn't me. And I know this because I have actively been working on this portion of my life, you know. And then you can also see in the other person, like, yeah, this is something that you might want to like kind of work on. It's not a deal breaker, but hey, can we?
Because eventually it's going to get, it may not be a deal breaker now, but dealing with this long enough, like, am I going to want to deal with this 20 years from now?
It's erosion. Basically, it's like water hitting a rock over time,
over and over again. It's going to eventually deteriorate.
It's going to deteriorate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's what ends up happening when we don't address those different traumas, behaviors, and things like that in relationships. And so I think that it is important for you to do that maintenance for yourself, but it also helps with the relationship because it allows you to see yourself in it. Also helps you to identify what your partner may be trying to convey that they can't. You know, and sometimes our partners, when we're in relationships and we're actively working on ourselves, they don't always see they kind of, therapy is the enemy. It is because
they feel like, oh, you're about to attack me.
Oh,
you're about to attack, and I felt that same way.
Yeah.
We started going to therapy right before we got married, and I was like, because I'd never gone to therapy. I tried therapy once. That's a whole nother story. And we'll talk about this too, because at least my wife, she made something that made sense to me. She said therapy is like, it's like dating. Like, you have to figure out, like, your first therapist may not be your therapist.
May not work for you. May not work
you may have to shop around until you find.
Error. Yep.
Absolutely. So when I went, I was like, so we went together, and we had started going right before, and I was just like, I just feel like, because I haven't gone through, you know, and she's been going through, I feel like they're going to attack me, and it's going to be like, oh, you're such a bad person. And it actually wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
It actually was just a conversation, and the therapist that she goes to actively and that we go to together, you know, every now and then, just maintenance, for tune-up. Like, there's nothing wrong. We just go, she'd be like, hey, y'all good? She'll be in a virtual session, and her therapist will be like, where's Raylan at? Tell him come here real quick. Hey, and we just talking, and it go from hey to now I'm in the session,
right?
But it's just, again, it's sometimes you just need that outside to come in and be like, hey, y'all know such and such, and we don't see it because, and that's what I've been kind of going through the last few months of just this awareness. Like, I don't think we realize that we're not as aware as we should be.
Absolutely.
In life. So you ever be like sitting a certain way and be like 10 minutes later be like, nigga, that hurts. Why am I sitting like that? Because you aren't aware, but you're just doing that because you're doing it. But you're not aware that that's uncomfortable. And then 10 minutes, well, if you translate that to everything else, how many other things have you been doing that have been uncomfortable or that are hurting you?
Or doing it because you think it's comfortable. But when you do it right, that's when you're uncomfortable.
Then you be like, it's a whole new world. Like, nigga, when you wear glasses for the first time and you like, oh my God. I can actually, like, the word
or like sitting like this is comfortable. Right, but when you sit up, you like, man, my back kind of hurt a little bit because you've been doing it wrong.
And it's like this comfortable just for a minute.
Yeah,
and it goes for a recovery
cool.
period.
It's cool. It's cool that you mess with that woman or you mess with that man that you ain't supposed to mess with right now. It feel good right now, but eventually, like when you now trying to do your own thing and you just like, this don't line up with me. So you see what I'm saying? Like once you open your eyes, and once I started to open my eyes, I was just like, yeah, I deserved better. And I'm just so thankful that of where I am right now. Like I like literally like me and God just be having powwows, and it used to be hard for me because church would be like, need to pray. Hey God, it's me, 17-year-old Dre. I don't know, I'm just talking to you. I didn't get it. As I started going through life, me and God just be talking. I don't even think about like, oh, you need to pray. It's just an instant conversation.
It's a conversation. Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, thank you, God, that it's not as weird as church people were trying to make the relationship. Like, it's not like that at all.
So tedious.
Oh, my goodness.
So thought out and stuff.
Oh, my goodness. Sure, and that's almost how going into a relationship, even though working on yourself is a necessity, going in having these thoughts of it's got to be like this, it's got to be like that, I got to do this. The internet said that I got to pay for everything. And it's just like, no, what works for y'all? What works? Right. And me and my wife we still figuring that out. Like, we both cook. We both clean.
Love that.
Like, there's no, you got to do, because our life is different than everybody else's life. You have to make it work for y'all. So I'm sorry that I took over after your response.
No, that was good.
No, that was good.
I wanted, I just want us to make sure that we kind of think about stuff like that. So thoughts going into dating, thoughts just dating in general as it relates to yourself beforehand. Anybody, just beforehand. What are your thoughts? Like, what do you think?
Well, I definitely have to be in tune with my emotions. Like before even.
Why do you say that?
Because sometimes I've ignored my emotions, and I've now understood. I read a book called Are You Okay? And I understood through that book that your emotions sometimes are signals that something is wrong, or that something is like bothering you, or it's definitely an indication that something is happening that you need to pay attention to. Yeah. And I've always been a person that emotionally, if I feel something, I'll always try to like shake it off, like, nah, that ain't nothing. Now I'm like, no, that's a signal. Why do you feel that way? What caused you to feel that way? And how can you address it?
That's the check engine light.
Yes, because sometimes, I used to operate, I used to be a people pleaser.
Are
you crazy? I used to be a people pleaser really bad, and I would ignore my engine light where it was saying like, this is making you uncomfortable. You should have had a boundary here. Maybe you should have told them I'm not talking about this. But when those things happen, now I understand, okay, let me figure out what's making me feel this way so that I can go back and dissect and say, okay, well, when they said this, it made me uncomfortable. So how do you go back and let them know that in a way that it's not offensive, but you set a boundary? Because I don't like arguing.
Oh,
yeah, I don't
relationships,
either. I low-key can't, actually. It's exhausting.
I don't have the energy.
I don't know how to yell.
I cannot. I do.
I mean, I can do it, but I don't like it.
And I know how to cuss real good,
and
too.
we also have to be able to differentiate an argument versus a hard conversation.
Absolutely.
Two different things.
That's so good, Ash.
They are two different
things.
Because
I'm like, we arguing. She be like, we're not having an argument. I said, we're not.
No.
We're not arguing. No, we're just having a disagreement.
Yeah.
We're just, we're passionate about how we feel.
Yeah.
But as long as I believe there's a respect level. You also need to know your partner.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I learned
100%.
I learned recently that, sometimes like I'll say something and Elise will take it as if I'm attacking her. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm not attacking you. I'm very direct. I don't beat around the bush. I'm like, no, A, B, and C. But my delivery absolutely could be so much better. But then at the same time, she had to understand that her husband wasn't attacking her. So now we both have to work on it. So now when he comes to talk to me, he's not attacking me. This is more so just a accountability, because at the same time, do the same thing for me. Mm-hmm. And she gonna do, hey. You see what I'm saying? So like that type of stuff of knowing you.
Yeah.
You gotta know them emotions, bro. You gotta know like how you think and how you come off, you know, just like, and having conversations, because you cannot, it's not about what you said, it's how you said it.
I used to be mean. My shout out to my homegirl, we still best friends, Taylor. Taylor used to always say that I was an a-hole. She would always tell me like the way that I would say stuff would be so harsh. But Kevin. No, because I'm the type of guy that when I'm in a relationship or I call you a friend or we're close knit, I want to see you successful.
Absolutely.
So
I'm the same way, bro.
With being a creative, if there's something in my mind, I'm like, well, hey, try it this way or do this. Let's push forward this way. Let's try to figure that this will get you more money. We like
solutions.
Yeah, and if you're not giving me a solution to stuff and you just prolonging, I'm like, okay, well, why am I talking?
Absolutely.
Why am I talking?
But I had to understand, like you just said, everybody doesn't understand that type of conversation, and it can be taken as, oh, you're being an a-hole.
Or you're aggressive, or, you know, you're pushy, and it's just like, no, that's not how we think.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's how, also, this is 30 years of me.
Hello, 31.
So now, not only do you have to be aware of that, but then it's like trying to fix little things and trying to just take control, because you don't realize the stuff that you do is so like, it's just in you. You don't even think about it.
Yeah.
You don't think about like breathing, but you breathe. Now you don't think about blinking. But the moment you start thinking about blinking, it'd be like, oh my God.
I'm blinking too much.
I can't stop blinking.
Call me Betty Boo.
But it's just a natural thing, bro.
That is insane.
But even going back to what you said, what you and Ashley said about just learning your partner, like I literally had to learn like my partner's love language. Yeah. Like how do you want to be loved, or what makes you feel safe and comfortable versus me loving you from the capacity of what I want to give you. And that was a hard thing, because back in the day, my schedule was like this. Now I'm very intentional in dating. Like, okay, what can I do? Can I schedule out time? Because I again, shout out to Tay. Me and Tay had a conversation, and I told her, I was like, the person that I'm dating now, like I had a flashback from a conversation we had, because they were like, they didn't say I wasn't intentional with dating. They were saying I was more so of the go with the flow. So this date night, right, let's just go find something to do. And they're like, no, plan it out. And I was like, maybe this is what Taylor was talking about.
We love a plan.
Maybe this is what Taylor was talking about.
Because it resonates just like anything else. Like if he can't plan a date, this nigga can't plan budget. He can't. He may not be able to lead you. Like this nigga, he gonna make you drive him to CVS to get you sorry to bring that back up.
I just want you to see me in the camera.
How sweet.
But you feel what I'm saying?
Right,
like that's super important. That's super important.
I'm gonna get you a CVS hoodie.
Period.
Wear a price.
So, Kev, you brought up love languages. I think that's important.
That's
something to talk about. Because not only how you love, but then how you're expecting to be loved.
Yeah.
So even if I give you everything that I'm now expecting. I'm expecting love the way I expect it. I think there has to be a good balance between both. So if your love language is one thing, I can't give you everything you want and never do anything for myself. Right. But at the same time, it's the other way around. So do we know our love languages?
Yes.
I think I got too many.
I'm gonna go to you last, Kevin,
yeah,
because you having too many is wild.
Yeah,
it's only
it's five. It's like
too
5.
many.
Okay. I took the quiz. Right, they had a whole love language quiz, and I tied for 2.
Okay.
So my top 2 are words of affirmation.
Okay.
And quality time.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like her.
Yeah. So words of affirmation, quality time. That's me. I'm one of them girls that you gotta tell me you like me every day.
Oh.
Not you ain't. I'm exaggerating.
I was about to be like,
but I would love to hear it though. Like
right.
like.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I thank you for telling me that you like me. And then quality time, intentional time. Right. So quality time doesn't necessarily have to be we're up under each other, right? But quality time is just quality. So whether that's a 30-minute conversation on the phone, or if that's watching a movie together over FaceTime, or whatever that may be, I need that quality time, and I need it to be intentional and uninterrupted if possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christian.
Ooh. I'm learning my love languages.
Sorry, Chrissy.
That's fine.
I'm getting it.
It works.
I love the honesty of you saying that too.
That you're still.
yes.
So have you ever taken the test?
I feel like I did a long time ago, but I don't remember results or anything. I need to take the test.
Because
they can change.
They have definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, can your love languages depend on the person too? Whoa, everybody.
The only reason why that's a great question. The only reason why I think that could be it is because certain people pull certain things out of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Certain people, like you may meet with somebody, you may be like, see, my last, I didn't like words of affirmation, but the way you do it, it's different. The way you affirm me and tell me that before I walk out that door that I can be. It's different. It's different. So I can feel that. I definitely feel that.
But just because, like, recently, in me trying to find myself, because going to the question and dating and things like that, like, I'm trying to find my way.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
But with that, like, love languages, I'm learning with even people that I talk to or whatnot, or a person that I talk to, I'm like, okay, I think quality time for sure is one. So like you were saying, like, even it's the simple things. If we find a series that we both like, and that's just our show that we watch together, and we watch an episode, every weekend or something like that. Like, that's the biggest thing to me. Like, you don't have to give me all this materialistic stuff, but we can watch an episode of Baddies together or something. Like, that's it. That's the first thing. That, I don't watch Baddies, but like that's the first thing that came up.
Real Housewives. I don't
Period.
know, Married to Medicine.
And then like I guess depending on the person, that's why I asked that. Like, this current person is definitely like physical touch. Like, I just want to, like, even if I could just like. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, even if it's just like your pinky or something like that.
So it sounds like you are somewhat aware of your love languages.
I'm getting there for sure, but I think sometimes it depends on the person, but it depends on the season I'm in too, because at one point, like with my last relationship, I didn't want you to touch me at all. Don't touch me, like, please. Yeah. But I think that's. But again, it
just depends, because maybe that nigga just wasn't the nigga to touch you the way you want to be touched.
That's why I'm wondering.
But hear me, because that you got to look at. I think you have to look at that carefully, because that could just be you being indecisive.
Right.
It could be you not really like tuned into who you are, and then you just kind of all over the place depending on who you're dating. And most people are, and that's dangerous,
right?
Because you don't know what you like. You gotta what do I like? What makes me feel good? What makes me feel bad? What turns me on? What turns me off?
Yeah.
You gotta be. I'm not saying that you have to be like you gotta know every single thing, but like that
you gotta know.
You gotta know like something like you.
But that's what showed me though, like in me trying to know me and figure out me. That's what showed me that I'm not ready for full on dating yet. I'm not ready for another relationship yet and stuff. Like it all depends on the person.
Can we pause and clap for the honesty of that?
Yes, I love that.
Because some people are not willing to say that I'm just not ready right now.
No, and I'm not ready.
So I commend you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I set that expectation for anybody that I talk to. I'm like, I'm not ready for another relationship right now or whatnot. Like, will I? Absolutely. I love. I love even getting married again. I would do it, but it got to be right this time.
Let me tell you something. Don't play with that thing.
Okay. And won't ever again. But at the same time, like, I just, in me not knowing things like, okay, what for sure is my love language? What do I like? What do I have the capacity to deal with? What is toxic and what is just like a regular relationship that you go through that you got to figure out together? You know what I mean? Like, I still have to figure out the difference between that. Because in me, like, struggling with being a people pleaser, but also coming out of a traumatic, toxic situation, it's hard because your red flag radar is like on 1,000.
It's on 10,000.
And I'm just like,
10,000.
Are you being a narcissist right now, or are you just a person?
So it's almost
I see
you have to get your
tendency.
PTSD in order.
I have to, and because I don't want, because
trust.
I believe wholeheartedly that hurt people do hurt people, and a hurt person hurt me,
100%.
and I refuse refuse to hurt another person. You know what I mean? A hurt person definitely, because like in us taking ownership and realizing things, I realized that person was a hurt person and been through things and didn't handle things correctly.
Love the grace.
You know? But at the same time, like, I'm not going to be that person to somebody else. Like, I refuse to be that person in somebody else's story that hurts another person because of what I've been through. But I know that right now I could be that person if I jump into another
So you like,
relationship.
it's best that we don't be together exclusively because it's probably gonna be some problems.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, I'll talk to
I'm
you.
not
Like,
ready.
we could go out on dates and stuff like that. But like, to
Honesty is the best policy.
simple,
Yeah.
I am not ready.
I am not ready. But the thing is, the crazy thing is, a lot of people can't handle that.
And that's
it's
okay.
so many people. I'm not gonna say so many people, but a couple people that's like upset or was upset that I wasn't willing to take that step with them. And I'm just like, no, I have to know me.
Do you know why though?
Why?
Because of the expectation, or not even expectation. We give people so much, and so people expect so much.
They're
Absolutely.
entitled to it.
They feel entitled.
Yeah.
They
And
are not
that's-
entitled.
and that's
they feel
insane.
entitled.
Yeah.
You're not deserving
That's so
of this.
good.
If I decide that this is not what I'm going to do, this is
Then
not,
I'm not
what
doing
I'm
it.
doing.
And that's a boundary, a solid
But
one.
so many
Yes.
women have probably been like, "Oh no, don't leave, don't,"
Yeah.
without even saying it, but in their
Yeah.
mind and in their actions, and so they get whatever they want.
Yeah.
When they come across somebody said, "No, I'm not doing that," then they're gonna be like, "Oh," and eventually they
That's
leave you
it.
alone.
That's it.
Yeah, because I can't stand that I'm him, nigga. Like, come on.
First
bro.
of all,
I cannot.
First of all,
Not him.
him.
you're not.
Are
and
you
you're
okay?
Not. You're not, because if you gotta say it, you're not.
I can't.
You're not. That's the thing. Like,
Because your work will speak for itself.
It
Absolutely.
will.
It will.
But to
Where's the fruit, my
push
nigga?
what Draylon just said, because that was going to be my next question.
And then you
When
can
I
tell us about
question
your
a
love
statement-
languages.
Yes, sir. Is how
Yes.
do you set healthy boundaries? Because let's just be honest, we can always say like we don't want a relationship, but sometimes we want the benefits of a relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want the dates, sometimes we want the sex, sometimes we want their attention and times. But it's like,
Dre,
how
please.
do we navigate? Like, what are the healthy boundaries that we set? Like, if I say that we're just cool and we're going on dates,
Yeah.
am I sticking to that? Or if I have too many glasses of wine, I invite you in for a nightcap, and then once you get what you need and you leave, I don't want to deal with you no more like that on that level. That was just that.
I feel like but that depends on the person that you're dealing with. Like, you have to deal with the right person, I think, because like,
But is
for
that healthy, though?
But that's
Is
but,
that
but
healthy?
before we even get to the person though, you have to evaluate yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what it is that you are not going to been doing. Because a lot of times we say, I'm setting a boundary. And what
I'm
we don't.
standing on business.
Exactly. And what we don't know is that one kiss
That's it.
is going to change everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Highway
We're
to
actually
hell.
tiptoeing.
Let me tell you
Yes.
something.
And so if you are not sold on your own boundaries,
Absolutely.
you cannot expect for somebody else to be sold on them as
Exactly.
well.
Gotcha.
Like, why would I invest in you if you haven't invested in yourself?
Correct.
Why would I take you seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not taking you
Yeah.
seriously. That's why and I could be wrong. A lot of things be popping in my head. But when you install a gate, you have to wait a while before you can put some pressure on it.
Yeah.
When you set a boundary,
To make sure
you
it's
need to
sturdy.
sit with that thing for
You
a
gotta-
minute.
you gotta let
can't
that
just go
cement-
straight out
you gotta
there
let
and be
it
like,
dry.
oh, I'm good. Okay.
That is so good because
You
you,
gotta
can
let it-
easily break the gate. If
Do you
the
hear
soil
me? 'Cause
hasn't
it's not in
settled.
the-
If it's
Because
fresh.
it's too
Okay,
fresh.
the cement
the
that is
cement is
in-
still
come
wet.
on.
You gotta let that
Come
thing
on.
dry.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Holy
babe.
Spirit.
And you might have to let it go through a few seasons to
Okay.
really make sure that it's
Do
all
you
right.
hear me?
You get what I'm saying? So
And
Like,
every
alright.
now and then you gotta inspect that gate.
This is a
because you
church.
might have to get a re-
that's that
get a new
missionary
one.
Baptist mic. I can I go back for 1 second about
Absolutely.
love languages, right?
Absolutely, because
I-
Kevin still got to do his.
He
So
does.
absolutely.
So I think one thing that we have to make sure that we're aware of is not loving our partners in our love languages and expecting
100%
them to
agree.
respond how we
Guilty.
would respond, right?
Yes.
So like me, words of affirmation, quality time. You know, you hurt my feelings just because your love language is gifts. Nigga, I need a hug, not a bag. You know, I
Yeah.
get it. You know,
That's
thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I am gonna wear this.
I appreciate the
Yeah.
purse.
But hug me, nigga.
But I need
But
a
I'm
hug.
still pissed off.
Yeah, I need a hug. That's healing for me. Not
I need
you
to hear
buying.
you say. I need you to physically. I need to hear
Yes.
you say I'm sorry.
I need
Yeah.
to hear you say I'm sorry, and then I need a real embrace after that's over. I don't need you to go and buy me something or cash at me $100 and say I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't need that. I need intentionality behind it, and that means to me that you have watched what gets me going, right?
And you've listened to me because I'm pretty sure you said it.
Hello.
Yeah.
And so I know if I hurt your feelings, that maybe a pair of shoes need to come behind that. I don't know, but for me,
Right.
like
That's not
I
my
don't
thing.
need that. I don't need that, and
so
that
good.
that it doesn't change how I feel. I'm grateful, thank you, I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but I'm still feeling the way that I feel because we have not been intentional on how we solve this situation.
And you hurt me, and then so your approach to me is still not my love language. It's still you.
Yeah.
So this is still about you.
You're putting you're deepening the knife.
That's it. That's all you do. You're still
Yes.
making this about you. So understanding that I have to make sure that, okay, I understand your love language, and I have to make sure that I meet you there.
Absolutely.
Because that makes you feel special. That makes you feel involved.
Absolutely.
Like you're a part of this relationship.
100%.
Come on now. You got to make sure that you are focused on that.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Kevin, I need your love languages though.
Languages.
Or one. Yeah, we may have one.
I'm bilingual. I speak French, tongues, and Spanish.
You're idiotic.
While speaking English. That's wild.
Wait, pause. I told Kevin, y'all ever seen Meteor Man?
I feel like I have.
Oh my God.
I look like Meteor Man.
No, you look like a golden lord from
With
Meteor
the hair.
Man.
And we honor him.
And I love it.
I love it.
I need y'all to go watch Meteor Man,
Okay, I'm
please.
take a look.
Thank you
Somebody
so much.
else told me. Craig told me that too. Craig kept talking about Meteor Man.
Yes, you look like a golden lord.
I love it. I'll take it. So I'm going to be very honest and transparent on this podcast.
That's all we
today.
want.
That
That's
is
all we
what
want.
I know a lot of people do not believe in the whole zodiac sign situation, but some things
What do you mean
I
you don't believe in it?
Well, some people just don't believe in it.
They don't believe like it's a thing at all.
Yeah, but for me, I'm going to tell you, what they say about cancers being emotional, I'm going to stand 10 toes on it. I could try my best to be the hardest Negro that you've met, but I am a softie. I am a softie. But the hardness that I may have and trying to be tough sometimes could just be a defense mechanism that I'm trying to work through. But I'm going to say that I am all of the love languages. It just depends on the mood and what's going on.
Okay.
So you could have a healthy balance of them because they put them in order, and they when I got it, it was like percentages.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sure.
my top was physical touch.
I gotta take this
Touch
test.
me, put your hands on me.
Touch me, baby. Turn around and then kiss me,
Touch.
baby.
And
Alright.
and obviously obviously you're not gonna do that all the time. They just touch
Right.
me all the time.
Right.
But I know I am very aware of that. And then I'm like, nigga, why is that like that? And then you, of course you realize, dang, it traces back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It
For
always
sure.
traces back to your childhood. So I'm like,
100%.
dang, I didn't get a lot of hugs.
For
Didn't get a lot of kisses. That wasn't. We didn't get. Not saying that my family didn't love me, but love was really. I love you wasn't something that we heard in the house.
Okay.
The first person to really start saying in my family was my younger sister. As she got older, she used to be like, "All right, I love you," and I was like, "All right, I love you too." It's weird.
Okay.
It's
I feel
weird.
you.
And I'm like, so is that why I'm so like, I need that like now? And I'm just like, but that ain't her fault.
Yeah.
Right.
So it can't be like all the time. So it's just like I gotta find that healthy balance. It's a process.
It is.
For
100%.
sure.
But physical touch for sure.
He said he's all of them though. And I get that.
I can
I
see.
think-
What are
But
all
my
of
thing-
them?
my
Let's-
main
let's
one-
say
I think
that,
we all
though.
have, like
A
you
little
said, the
bit of all of
percentage.
them,
Yeah,
yeah.
the percentages. There's
Yeah, but
some
I
that
it's-
are heavier
girl,
than others.
It's heavy. I think my main one, the last test I took was words of affirmation. But hearing what he just said about childhood, I can understand why mine are words of affirmation. With like the whole being teased thing, like it was just always like
So to hear something positive now or something
right.
affirming now.
It just makes me like, okay, I'm doing something right. But I have to learn not to depend on that to validate.
You can't.
Right.
You can't.
You
You
can't.
can't.
Because
You
I've done
can't.
it for so long, like, okay, they didn't say good job after I did this.
So did I do a good job?
So did
Right.
I do a good job?
Especially when I was younger, being a singer, that was hard. Like, oh, they didn't tell me God moved today, or they didn't tell me I blessed
Yeah.
them. So that
Yeah.
was I anointed today?
Yeah.
You want the approval.
Was God with me today?
And
Yeah.
just and
So-
it has everything to do with the sound and how they feeling as they had nothing to do with you.
Right.
Right.
Definitely.
So it's, that is one of the things I don't, quality time, that's hard for me because
So
I
do
wanna
you
give
yearn
quality-
for? Do you yearn for it? Not so much what you give, but what do
well,
you
I
yearn
don't,
for?
well, again, being 100% transparent, I am literally trying to work on not being overly sexual.
Okay, so physical touch is it?
So I would say physical touch would be the second thing, but I'm trying to understand the whole self-control aspect of that because that can be overwhelming as well, especially dating someone that may not
Be on that level.
right or want that all the time.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So it's like I have to have one self-control to not do anything crazy, but two, I have to control my body. And that's the spiritual aspect that comes into it for me, because I'm always telling myself, my body don't control me, I control it.
You have to.
And I have to, and I've had to tell myself, like, my emotions and my hormones, sorry.
Sometimes.
Hallelujah.
Sometimes you mix them
The
up.
horn.
Your hormones.
My hormones. Hello. Now that's good. My hormones.
That's
they don't,
wild.
They don't control me. So
funny.
that's something that I've had to learn. But it's very, like, it just varies, because being a Cancer, I'm gonna say it, being a Cancer, we are very emotional. Now for me, I try not to show it all the time, but trust and believe. I'm always having a moment like, oh, my friend don't mess with me no more, or like, what did I do? Or somebody say,
I think
I want to talk to you,
bro.
I'm like, oh my
I'm the
God,
same way, bro.
oh my God, what is it?
Immediate
Immediately.
paranoia.
And it's like, dude,
Immediately.
get out of your mind. It may not be that.
It never is. If we can be honest,
Never
most
is.
of the time that you ever worried about something, and never what you thought.
Yeah,
it
Trying to
it's
tell
not
you.
as big as that.
Which is
It
why
may have
now
been
I'm
every
trying
now
to
and-
think. I'm trying to think. I think I'd be kind of spot on a little bit when I think something.
I think the worst.
you.
So
I'd be like-
I remember as a child, like my mom didn't answer the phone. Like this is when she had just got a cell phone. Like this was like when I was a lot younger, and I was calling. Normally she was home by this time. So as a child, my mind went to the worst. As a child, I'm like, why do I think like that? Then as I get older, my wife don't answer the phone. Girl, why you don't answer the phone? I called you
What
twice.
doing? Checking locations.
Where you at? And she like, nigga, I got out of work 20 minutes later than I normally do. And it's not that I think that she out here cheating or something like that. It's just that your mind goes to the worst. Is she okay? That's something I think we all just got to work on. Just
Absolutely.
getting
Overthinking.
out of our head.
Agreed.
We overthink.
Yeah.
Just walk into a room thinking everybody looking at you. Nigga, they not. They got bills. That's what they're focused on right now.
But when
That's
you
what
go
they're
through
focused on.
things
when you go
to
through
pay.
stuff, that's just
Trauma,
sometimes just what
That's your
you
response.
think.
Yeah.
That's
A
your
trauma
response, bro.
response.
But
That PTSD.
yes,
Like
for
a
sure.
is
like a mug. Like a mug.
For sure.
But those are I think my top two would be words of affirmation and physical touch, but I do feel like all of them. It just depends on the mood that I'm in.
Yeah, I have a percentage of a little bit of all of them too, but I feel that, bro.
Yeah.
So what are all of them? I know it's words of affirmation, quality
Time.
acts
of
of
service.
Acts of
service,
service.
physical touch.
Physical touch. And
There's one more. I gotta see him.
That ain't nobody else.
something with,
Wait, what did y'all just?
We ain't
Yeah, we
worried.
could definitely go to Google.
We said
Name the 5 love languages.
She
Not
did.
Alexa. She gonna be like, what is that?
The 5 dimensions of love referred to as the 5 love languages are as follows.
Oh.
Quality time, physical touch, gifts, acts of
Gifts.
service, and words of affirmation.
Gifts.
Okay, there we go.
And
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm like I like
Alexa,
gifts.
thank you.
They're
Be
cute and
quiet.
stuff, but most of the time the gifts that you give
Alexa,
me, I
thank
can
you.
get
Be quiet.
myself.
So gifts isn't a thing for you.
No.
Because your parents probably make sure you was straight as a child.
Yeah,
You ain't have to worry about none of that
Listen,
stuff.
they
Like,
made me sure I was good.
so that wasn't a thing for you.
It wasn't, and if not, like now, if I want something, I'm gonna get it. It might take me a little bit longer to get it, but I'm gonna get it.
But I'ma get
Like
it.
I'm not expecting you to get it
Same.
for
I'm the
me.
same way.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And they be mad like, I want to buy you something, but you got everything, because if I want it, I'm going to get up and get it.
Because then if I expect you
I'm
to
not
get it and
waiting.
you don't get it for me, now I gotta bring a house.
So I
Not
don't-
even that. I'm just going to get it because I need it right then and there. If there's something
Yeah.
that I
She
want, I
said I,
want it
gotta
right then
burn
and
your
there.
house.
Sure, call me left eye, baby.
She's
Oh,
crazy.
bleach on the clothes,
She's
Mike.
crazy.
In the
As
tub. Set the
raise
tub
your
on
glass. Raise your glass.
So okay.
fire. And nuts.
With the fruit.
Are we over
So-
the time?
No, we about to wrap this up. I am gonna do it like a lightning round with us.
Okay.
Yes, lightning round.
But I just
fun.
wanted that. I feel like that was a great conversation.
Absolutely. I think so
Um,
too. I think
Ladies
so
and
too.
gentlemen, again, we have Ashleigh Pope in the
Ashleigh
building.
Pope.
I'm here. I'm here.
Please
and I love
know
it.
that
I
you're
love
gonna
it. I love
see
it.
her again. She's definitely got to come back next season
I would
just
love
to
to.
show her
I
face.
would love
Give
to.
us an update on the new season. You're going into a new season of your
I
podcast,
am.
yes?
Yes.
How you feel?
It's a new season.
You know what? It is. Come on
It
here,
is.
pull
Girl.
out the song. How do I feel? I am nervous about this next season. Here's why. So, like I said, my episodes are very transparent. I like to always make sure I'm speaking from a healed place.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't like to talk about things until I know I can talk about it and not it don't sting.
I feel that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
That's what took me so long to start this.
absolutely. So I am still in a healing process right now. I'm
Gotcha.
very fair and knowing that I'm still in a healing process. And so while I do have a launch date, I am also not opposed to pushing that because I never want to get on camera
and just get to going.
just get to talking, and then I'll be like, why did I say that?
Nonsense.
Or and so I like to make sure that I'm doing it from a healed perspective. And so I'm a little nervous right now because I know right now it's like I ain't quite ready, but I need to get on it. But
so how are you going to
prepare? What's your
how are you going to handle that? Because for somebody who may be prolonging something that God is leading them to do, how do you then set that boundary to make sure that you now don't go? Are you going to get like a co-host to, if you do kind of go left, they can kind of like swing the conversation? Like how are you going to? You just going to trust God with that thing?
Yeah, no, I always know when I'm ready. There's a certain piece that I have.
That's fair.
I know when I'm ready. I can feel it. I don't feel it yet.
Okay.
But I can feel it. There's a literal feeling that I have when it's almost like a release, where it's just like, okay, I know right now, and it's so crazy that God has me in a silent season. He ain't gonna let me tell my story yet. And I'm cool with that.
That's all right.
And so,
that's all right.
I'm gonna sip on that.
And so, because he has me in a silent season, that also includes pre-recording. Because I need to make sure that I'm out of that silent season. I'm released to speak because I want his hand to be on what I'm doing. And so I am willing to wait how I need to,
absolutely,
in order for me to get there. So the plan is to start recording in March, season 2 launch in April.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to be working real hard in February.
Absolutely.
Okay. We're going to make sure that we're not canceling our therapy sessions.
Period.
Yeah.
That we feeling what we need to feel, that we're not masking our emotions, that we're not coping with different types of elements or things or people or activities or anything
that's not lined up.
Hello. And so I got work to do. I've been working. I really have. And being proactive with that, but sometimes it just takes a little bit more, and I'm okay with that. And so y'all will get all of what you need out of this next season of the Good Morning Podcast.
It's gonna be worth the wait.
It's gonna be so worth the wait.
Absolutely,
it really is 100%. So I just want to make sure I'm doing it when I need to be doing it. That's all.
Absolutely, no.
And thank you for trusting your own process. Like,
absolutely,
the healed and processed version of you is what your fans and consumers deserve. So thank you for not rushing your process and taking the time to give us your best product. Salute to you.
I don't want to add to people's like, I don't want to be harmful
or bleed
just
on
like
the people.
I don't want to bleed
she didn't
on the
want
folks.
to the next relationship. She didn't want to do what was done to her. It's the same thing with the people that are watching and listening to you.
Absolutely.
You got to make sure that what you present and what you say. If you got to get off social media for a little bit, get off social media.
Hey, listen, I got off in November, right? I popped back in January, like mid-January, because people started calling my mama. They was like, "Is she okay? We ain't seen her." Because I'm interactive on social media, so people are used to seeing posts and things. And then I was ignoring phone calls and text messages. I was like, because it just wasn't time for me.
That's
okay.
okay.
The capacity.
That's okay.
So I popped back on to do a wellness post like, "Hey, I'm good. Stop calling my mama." And then I logged back off, so I'm off again now. And I feel like social media is, when you're healing, when you're doing certain things, it can be such a bad
Stay
trigger.
the hell away from it.
Yeah, it can be such a trigger, and so it'll set you back if you let it. Okay. And so I said, I ain't got time. I already got enough I'm dealing with.
Let me log out now.
I don't have time to be set back even more, because I'm looking at stuff, and comparison is a joy thief, and you think you're doing okay, and then
until
you
see
something
this, and
you
be
be like, oh,
that's how it was.
Yeah, and so right now I'm doing that too. I'm off social media. I'm doing what I got to do to be the healthiest version of myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we thank God that you are doing this. I truly believe that this new season, not only the podcast season, but this new season just of your life.
Absolutely.
I truly, truly, truly believe, like, you're doing the work. It has to work.
It has to work. It has
you
to.
Don't expect anything else.
I think you good.
I think you just preached a little bit.
You're doing the work, so it has to.
You're
work.
doing the work.
That was God. I promise you, I didn't write that down.
Listen, you better walk in it.
That was good. You're doing the work, so it has to work.
Listen, you have to
put that on a T-shirt.
You're doing the work, so it has to
Y'all
work.
buy
It has
these
to
T-shirts.
work.
You're doing the work. It has to.
It has to work.
Because the thing is, it has to work because you believe it's gonna work.
Right.
You're not gonna do the work and not believe. Like that. That's counteract. That's counterproductive.
Yeah.
Right.
Believe it. It has to.
It has to
It
work.
has
It
to.
has to work.
That's just the way it's set up for us. That's just the way God did it. Like, if you're gonna sit on your butt and not do nothing, then you're not gonna get no results.
That's what you're
And
gonna
I don't want to hear nothing. If you're gonna sit on your butt and not do nothing,
I
I don't want to
hear
hear
it.
nothing.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear.
But if you
gonna
gonna get up,
from me,
listen.
if you gonna get up and you gonna
Listen.
make some stuff happen,
Yes.
if you gonna go to therapy, if you gonna get rid of them people you ain't supposed to talk to, if you gonna delete them contacts, if you gonna get off of social media, if you gonna start saving and budgeting, you
That's
gonna start
it.
working on your
That's
credit,
it.
you gonna
Yeah.
start doing the
Talk.
things
Yeah.
for your future.
Talk.
Get it done. It's going to work.
And it's gonna be
Yes.
uncomfortable for a season.
Oh yeah.
But it's temporary.
It's
Right?
temporary.
The uncomfortability is temporary.
It's temporary.
So walk in it.
And who's to say how long that season will last?
Come on.
Who's to say?
Okay.
Who's
Who's
I
to
promise
say?
you, because the moment
Who's
that
to
you start
say?
walking, that second step is a
Listen.
little easier than the first one, and that third step is easier than the second one.
Because if you think about stairs and you going up a whole flight,
listen,
baby, I'll be struggling.
I'm gonna tell y'all some words that were given to me, and it was just like, the person said to me, and I pray that this season for you is a quick one. And I took that. I said,
because
you
the
know what?
season sometimes will only be as long
I
as you
receive
need
it.
to be.
It's and it is as long as you make it. Because if you're obedient out the gate, right, it starts lining up.
I
It
gotta
starts
be like, oh,
making sense.
you got that.
You
Oh,
doing
let me
it?
move you
Okay,
to
let
this
me
next one. You caught that one.
let me pull you to the front of the line. You don't really have to do as much as you think.
Are y'all listening?
But sometimes we
yeah.
take detours though, and that's based off our own decisions.
Yes,
though.
it's that free will clause.
Come on.
Okay, the Lord can give you, I'm
I'ma give you a choice.
He can give you everything you need to do to be obedient, but at the end of the day, it's whatever you choose.
Whatever you choose, and if you choose, you chose the harder route, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna get to the promise.
It's just gonna take a little longer.
It's gonna take a little longer.
But let me tell you something. I need y'all to go ahead and follow Ashleigh. She may not be on social media today.
Not today, but
by the time you see this,
by the
she
time
gonna be
you
back
see
on.
it, I might be back.
And
I
that
might be
season
back.
2 might be out.
Yeah.
So listen, we don't know how long this season is gonna be.
Period.
I just need y'all to make sure that you're following her.
Absolutely.
You stay caught up. Make sure you follow, subscribe, all of that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll see you. We will see you.
Thank y'all for having me. I loved it.
Absolutely.
This was great.
Absolutely.
Yes.
My
The Dream Lab.
girlfriend.
Come on, Kevin.
Girlfriend.
There to the end.
I'm not gonna try to sing. I'm a croak.
Girlfriend. My girlfriend.
I'm a croak.
I'm a croak if I try to sing right now. So anyway,
Charlie, that is so
Sorry.
dumb.
We're ending this
All right.
episode. Thank you for watching the Dream Lab podcast. God bless. We out. Peace.
in my